Trusting God's timing in my healing. On the 27th of August, a new chapter began. After 23 days in my bedroom, I finally managed to go downstairs. For the very first time, with a lot of help, I made it down, one careful step at a time. I can't describe the joy that filled my heart. For over 3 weeks, I had no idea what was happening downstairs in my own home. But that day, seeing my living room chair again felt like freedom. I tried to sit, but the pain on my right side made it impossible to stay upright. I could only stand with my Zimmer frame for about 3 minutes before I had to lie down on the settee. Still, I knew this was a start. A small beginning that meant so much. It was then that the word of God came alive to me. Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. Zechariah 4:10. That moment may have seemed insignificant to others, but for me, it was the beginning of a miracle. Going back upstairs was another test of strength and patience. I had to crawl slowly, painfully, step by step. It was humbling, but even in that weakness, I could feel God's strength carrying me. As Paul reminds us, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. The very next morning, on the 28th of August, my parish priest visited me at home. Receiving communion that day filled me with renewed hope. Hope that pushed back despair and fear. Later that same day, I stepped outside for the first time in 24 days to see my GP. Getting into the car was another challenge. The seat had to be fully reclined, and I needed my Zimmer frame just to move from the car to the GP's room and back again. Yet, even through the pain, that breath of fresh air felt like a glimpse of life returning. It reminded me of the truth from scriptures. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Proverbs 13:12. After waiting so long, that simple outing felt like tasting life again. But reality soon returned. When I got home, I insisted on sitting in the living room. I wanted to feel normal again. But after just 15 minutes, the pain hit like a storm. When it was time to go back upstairs, I could barely manage. Even with my husband and son's help, that night I couldn't sleep. For 2 nights, the pain was unbearable. Later, my physiotherapist explained that I had strained the nerves by sitting too long. It was a hard but important lesson. You cannot rush healing. Healing comes in God's time. As the Bible teaches, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. I learned that rushing would only set me back, but patience, diligence, and consistency would move me forward. So I built a routine, small steps, but filled with purpose. Each day, I went downstairs for about an hour, sitting for 10 minutes, walking around with my frame, then repeating the process before heading back upstairs to rest. It wasn't easy, but every moment reminded me that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Many days, I still had to crawl up the stairs, slowly, steady, and determined. It was humbling, but with each effort, I began to see change. Little by little, strength returned, and I saw the hand of God turning my small steps into mighty progress. Then came the day that I had been praying for. On the 15th of September, after 6 long weeks, I was finally able to use a walking stick for the very first time. I can't describe the joy I felt. My physiotherapist watched me walk, then gave me the approval to leave the Zimmer frame behind. Just 3 days later, on the 18th of September, I stepped outside for my first short walk with the stick. Only 4 minutes at first, but that moment felt like freedom beyond words. From that day on, I made it a daily practice, walking a little longer each day. It was the beginning of taking control of my life again, step by step. As I walked, God's words echoed in my heart. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Isaiah 40:31. Even in my weakness, he carried me. He gives power to the faint, and to him who has no might, he increases strength. Isaiah 40:29. And with every step forward, I held on to the truth. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him, and I am helped. Psalm 28:7. Healing is a process. Strength is restored in God's timing, not ours. I am still on this journey, but every day I see progress. And for that, I give him all the glory. I give him all the honor. I give him all the adoration. Truly, God has been faithful. As I look back, I will never forget the 4th of August, the day everything changed. After being bedridden for 16 days, unable to move, and waiting 6 long weeks before I could finally take my first walk outside with a walking stick. I stand today as a living testimony of God's grace and faithfulness. What once seemed impossible became possible. God's faithfulness carried me through every moment of pain and waiting. If he could do it for me, he can surely do it for you. Hold on, your breakthrough is coming. Family, have you ever had to slow down and wait for God's timing in your healing or breakthrough? Share your story below. It might encourage someone today. Until next time, this is Open Talk with Sisi Flojo. Thank you.